Welcome to another Bojoul video. We are the home of self-care and wellness and everything that will help you to live a higher, fuller, and just come into a greater sense of who you are and where you're supposed to be in this world. So we are the evolving channel because we're going to evolve as you evolve, and that's what happens. But I want to thank you so much again just for joining us today. And today we are speaking about forgiveness. We spoke about a few videos back. Was it the last video or a few videos ago? We spoke about forgiving yourself. And in this video, we're going to speak specifically about forgiving others as it pertains to self-care. You know, self-care, as we always say, is a journey. It's a journey. And things happen. And the whole idea of self-care is to prevent blockages from within us. Physical blockages, emotional blockages. Major. Because when you become blocked emotionally, it is hard for your body to heal. That energy is like stuck. It's a block. And what self-care really means is being focused and being determined to remove anything and everything that's impeding your growth or your journey in your self-care. And so today, as we speak about forgiveness, keep that in mind. Forgiveness for someone else, when you're forgiving someone else, it's more so about you than the forgiver, the one that's being forgiven. I know I used to feel that, why should I be the one that forgive them and they did such an incredible act of violation towards me? And I didn't think that it was fair. That's how my mind was before. And then when I started to understand that forgiveness is not for the person, forgiveness is for you. I think the whole idea is we have to really calculate how much damage is being done to us when we do not forgive. Literally, you are blocking yourself. You're blocking your flow. You remember how people say, don't block your blessing? A lot of things that we do can block us in so many ways. It takes so much energy to hold a grudge. It takes so much energy to hold a person in bondage, towards your displays of disapproval or just disgust. It takes a lot of work on your part to hold that person at that place. It is so much easier inside of you. I'm not saying easier in terms of the concept of, letting a person off the hook. Because before we even get into that, right? Let me come up a little bit. Let me just say this. Some people really do some real foul things to you, to your family. I mean, some egregious, unspeakable, disgusting acts of betrayal. Like, I'm not minimizing other people's acts towards us in any kind of way whatsoever. I can personally attest to the fact that people can be grimy and vile. And they do things to scar you and hurt you so deeply. I mean, it starts this cycle of trauma within you. Seriously, I understand. I've been there on more than one occasion. However, as we speak about self-care, there is a decision that we have to make. It's a decision. The decision is, will I allow what happened to me dictate the rest of my future and what is happening inside of me? No matter how great of a violation that someone has perpetrated towards me, I want to be free. And that is the decision that we have to make. I want to be free. I don't want this. I don't want to feel disgusted every time I see that person. I don't want to be mad, because when you don't forgive a person, it's like something happens in you every time you think about that person. If that person tried to call you, if a conversation, that person's name is mentioned, if you see the person, it's just like this, it's just like all this blockage and ickiness and pain. And that affects our self-care so greatly. And so I'll go back to saying what I just said. You have to make a decision. Do I want to continue to live my life and feel this way? Because every time that person comes around, every time you see that person, every time you think about that person, it's this thing that's like, it's like it happens all, you get these feelings of pain that kind of like resurge, like it happens all over again. It's like you're stabbing yourself all over. It's like it's happening again. And I said all of that to say that forgiveness benefits you. We're not letting the violator off of the hook. We're not. Because one thing I know for sure is that whatever a man sows, he shall reap. That is for anybody. Whatever you plant, you will harvest. That's for anybody. I don't care if you believe Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever your religious beliefs are, it doesn't matter. It's a fact of the world. It's a fact of the universe. It's a law. What you sow, my God, you will reap. And when I really got that in my life, I understand that that person is never going to be off the hook, no matter what. I may not be the one to execute revenge on that person, but that person will pay dearly. I promise you. It's a law. It's a God law. It's a divine law. God can get somebody and execute revenge on somebody way better than you could ever. So if that's the case, you may as well set yourself free. Look how empowering that is. You can set yourself free. I love being in control of my whatever part of my destiny that I can be. And me forgiving those who have transgressed against me. And I'll say this before I give you a couple of more reasons why forgiving is for you and not for the person who's done the act of betrayal or violation. When you forgive a person, right? One of the things that I have been able to do to really forgive somebody who really have hurt me, and I feel like they betrayed me so greatly, and it was hard for me to do it now. Just listen, feel me out, hear me out. When a person and it hurt me so deeply that I couldn't even speak. I didn't even know what to do. I did not know how. I just knew I was stuck inside. And I knew that wasn't good for me. See, it always go back to you. You got to see what's going on with you. That's what self-care is about. You caring about yourself. You being tapped into what's happening within you. And you know that that's not a good place to be. You know what I started to do? I started to pray for the person. It was so hard for me to start to pray for a person who violated me. I think the first time I had ever done that, I think I was crying while I was praying for the person because I was so mad. Like, why I gotta be the bigger person? Why do I gotta pay for this piece of scum? Why do I have to pray for this person? But it was suggested to me by a dear friend and somebody that I respect greatly. So I said, you know what? Let me try. And when I began to pray for the person, right? Oh my God. I cried the first couple of times and I was mad. But after a while, it's like something started to let up within me. Like I started to feel empathy for the person. I started to feel sorry for the person. And then as I prayed and I wished no ill will on the person, I wished only the best for the person. I wished well. I wish God's love would come and surround them. I wish they would understand the error of their way. I wish them well. I started to get free. And that was so much more powerful than me holding a grudge, because it's like you think that that's a leverage over somebody. You think you're holding something on somebody. You're not holding anything except your self-bondage and your self-hostage. You are your own bondage keeper. People talk about triggers and different things like that. You trigger yourself a lot of times. We trigger ourselves a lot of times because we refuse to let things go. You gotta let it go. I'm gonna share these couple of pieces with you really quickly. One thing, when you forgive somebody else, like I said before, and I kind of broke it down just now, you become emotionally liberated. It's like, so the person do an act of violation, they violate you. They greasy and grimy, right? They hurt you. They set you on this fast track of trauma, right? That person, when you hold on to that unforgiveness, now they're able to do those acts over and over again perpetually because you're holding on to it emotionally. Yeah, they're not doing it again physically because you're not in their presence, but because you hold on to it, you holding on to this perpetual pain that they've caused. It's like you allow it to reverberate through your life continually. And I'm like, I want to be free. Some things people have done to me, it still brings tears to my eyes. Like, how could they do that? But as time go by and you pray for these people and you release them, it's like emotionally I become free and I'm able to do and engage in other things so much more fully and wholly. Instead of being fragmented, because now this person done wounded me and now I'm wounded for the rest of my life. And now I'm walking around in the world like a wounded puppy, hurt, can't deal with nobody, don't want to do in a relationship, don't want to trust nobody. It's like a perpetual domino effect because this one scumbag then did this egregious thing to you and you refuse to let it go. And that's the thing I want you to understand about forgiveness is you have that power to say, I can't anymore. And me wanting to be free was greater than their act they had transgressed against me. It was greater. My desire to be free was greater than their act that they perpetrated against me. It was greater. I want to be free. I don't want to be trapped. It's like once I trap myself there, it's like I'm stuck in your web of disgust and sickness, like mental sickness. Like you got me trapped because I won't let you go. I won't let it go. It wasn't worth it. And I got this emotional constipation going on in me that I can't even function fully and freely and happily in this world. It's like they not only did they do that violation, did they perform that act of violation against you, but now they got you hostage for the rest of your life. That's really what it is. It's like they took that, now they take it more because we can't release and let it go. But and listen, I'm not saying that it's easy. It took a long time for me to release that foolishness. Seriously. And even now when people do things that I feel like they're unfair and they betrayed me or whatever the case may be, I go through my same process. I pray for them. I rinse and I repeat that process. I pray, I cry, I pray, I cry until I feel that thing lifting off of me because I don't want to be in bondage to nobody and what they've done. Let them deal with that. I promise you, God can deal with people better than you. He can. And that's what brought the tears to my eyes because I wanted to deal with them. It's like it made me feel better to hold on to it, but it's not. It don't serve you, boo. It don't. It don't serve you. It hurts you more. So they did it then, they did it 10 years ago, and they still doing it right now in the present. Nah, that's so much power that we give that person. And I'm not saying it's easy. It takes some work. It really takes a decision. You know how you decide? You make a decision, you make up your mind. I remember I was listening to a video of T.D. Jakes, and he had a message that was called The Power of a Made Up Mind. Ain't nothing like it in the whole wide world. When you make up your mind, what? Whether it's to do something, to not do something anymore, when you make up your mind, it is one of the most powerful things that can happen to you. And only you can decide. Only you can make up your mind. Only you can make up your mind. And so I wanted to encourage you today, like when you're talking about forgiving, understand that when you forgive, that's an act of love. That's an act of self-care towards yourself. That's you. That's you. Another reason you should forgive is it reduces stress within you. You get health benefits from releasing people. People with higher blood pressure starts stabilizing. It improves your physical health. It just improves your whole stress levels, like reduce. Like it's not that serious. And even though what they did is serious, I'm not saying what a person did is not serious, because it is. I'm saying me holding on and perpetually holding on and hurting myself in the future is not that serious. I don't want to take this pain into my future, into my tomorrow. I don't want to. You're not that serious. That's what I mean, is not that serious. So it reduces stress. It reduces stress. And last thing I want to say before we finish up about forgiving somebody else, you release yourself from being the victim. You're no longer a victim. It's like you let go of that victimhood. Like sometimes, and I will admit, I like being a victim because it was like I had something over you, right? Because I want you to know, I want you to feel like the effects of what you have done to me. But being a victim holds you in that box all over again. You're in the cage when you're a victim. You're the victim. You're in the cage. And so when you forgive, you allow yourself to be free from being a victim. I don't want to be a victim to nobody. I don't. I understand things happen to us, but we could choose to be a victim, or you could choose to be free. I love the power of choice. I love that. We are free moral agents. You have the ability to choose, to decide, to say yes, to say no, to say I will, to say I will not. You have that power. That's how you control what's happening. I can't control every single thing in my life, but those things that I can decide. That's what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is about decision making. I'm deciding to let you go. I'm deciding to let you, I'm deciding to free myself. I'm deciding not to allow that pain to reverberate into my future. I'm deciding. I made a choice. I'm saying no. I'm saying yes to myself. I'm saying no to the food. You know what I mean? It's a decision. It is a decision. So I promise you, I get emotional and I get passionate when I talk about stuff like this because it has happened to me so many times, so many times. And I know the power of forgiveness in me. It helped me to become better. It helped me. I can't stop what other people do. All I can do is now I see you and I'm going to move differently. But I believe that in this world, while you're here in this world, you're going to be hurt many times. And sometimes you're going to be hurt by people who you thought that loved you or who you thought that was your family or close people. And you can't stop that. It happens. But you can decide. You can make a choice of how you're going to move forward in life and how you're going to deal with it. So, baby, forgiveness is an act of self-care. Forgiveness for the other person is an act of self-care because you're letting yourself be free. So let's just recap real quick. So 1, you get to be emotionally liberated. 2, it reduces stress. 3, you get to let go of being a victim. Letting go of victimhood. Let it go. It does not serve you. It is not productive. It is not a productive factor on our journey of self-care. It is not. We need to elevate our minds and release all of this junk and see. And that's the thing. When it comes to self-care, sometimes that's why I always tell you self-care is not just a spa, not just, oh, I got cucumbers on my eyes or this, or I'm in a yoga class. All of that is a part. Don't get me wrong. But this is that deep self-care work that we're doing. You got to go in. You got to go in and start to reclaim certain things that you have control over. These are the things that you have control over. I don't want to be mad at you no more. It takes too much for me to be mad. It takes too much. And all of that energy that you have holding it towards holding grudges and things like that, that's your energy that you need to heal. But yet you're redirecting it to this nonsense. And once I got that understanding, it's like you humble yourself. I don't have to be right. I just want to be whole. I don't have to be right. I want to be whole. You understand? I don't have to win the argument. I want to be whole. It's a decision. You decide. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening today. This has been, I'm grateful. I didn't break down, honey, because I was about to cry up in here today. But because I understand. I know. I mean, I have situations in my life at present, at this very, very moment of acts of betrayal. And I have prayed and I don't feel that way inside. I'm not saying that it's like, oh, it's perfect, but I don't feel that icky feeling. I'm redirecting my energy and I pray and I let that thing go. It gotta go because I know that it's hurting me. How are you going to be on a self-care journey and you're engaging in acts that's perfect, that are hurting you? How are you doing that? How do you engage in things that you know is purposely hurting you? That's like when you're trying to go on a diet and or at nighttime you binge on Snickers. You know that the Snickers is going to throw your whole program off altogether. You know that. And then you do it consistently. You do it once or twice, okay, you slip and you fall, but consistently you don't care. Like, okay, so that means you're not serious about that journey that you're on. And so I just want to encourage you to get serious about this self-care journey. We got to do the work. It's not just happening. It's not just, oh, boom, bam, beat it up, boom, self-care. No, it's a journey. And you have to be an active participant. You have to do the work. It's not going to come for free. This is something you got to earn. You got to work on it. You have to work on it. So I just want to thank you. Thank you so much again for joining us today on this Bojoul channel about forgiveness. Forgive those. Please forgive those. Because we have work to do. We are on a journey, baby. We got things to do. We don't have time to be wasting with nobody's foolishness. None whatsoever. So I thank you again for listening. Please, if you like this video, if you felt like this video could help somebody or to encourage somebody, share it with them. Bless them. Bless them. Listen to this. Bless them. Like it, share. Leave us a comment. We love comments. Comment on it. Comment, share. If you want to share something about your forgiveness or forgiving other people, share. Maybe it could help somebody in the comments. Be a part of this community. If you're listening to us on podcast, download the episode and just, follow us. Keep up with us. This is Bojoul. This is the home of self-care and wellness. And just remember that self-care is the best care. Peace. Love you. Out.